As I was going over the Cork and Kerry mountains, I spied on Captain Farrell and the money he was counting. I first produced me pistol, I then produced me rapier, said stand and deliver, for you are about to savor on the shawring dum da. Hey, whack for the daddy-o, whack for the daddy-o, there's whiskey in this jar. Hey, happy St. Patrick's Day from Sully, from South Boston, Massachusetts, 02127, where very well today is St. Patrick's Day and the St. Patrick's Day Parade falling on a Sunday. I grew up in South Boston, Massachusetts, and we have a parade every year, and it's just like, it's like the Orwellian 3 minutes hate, you know, but for an afternoon. Oh boy. Hi everyone in the chat. We've got Phil TMNT here. Hail Phil, how you doing? We got Lane Kramer showing up. We got AL. Hello. Thank you all for showing up. Good to see you. And I hope you we're going to be passing the hat later for the boys in the band. Happy St. Patrick's Day to you. I'm wearing the green today, if you can see. My name is O'Sullivan, Eric Thomas Matthew. And I grew up in an Irish household. My grandfather, Joseph, was from Kerry, and my grandmother, Anne, was from Sligo. And they met over here. Yeah, and so I grew up Irish, in an Irish home. And that's that. And hi to everyone out there. These are my neighbors. It's a beautiful day. I've got the windows wide open. And just it's a 60-degree Fahrenheit day here, and it's mostly sunny. And it's like, this is such a blessed day. What a beautiful day to be, to be in South Boston at that bloody parade. I mean, I marched in 3 of them between the ages of 8 and 18. Oh gosh. And no tanks, as my grandmother. No tanks. I've had enough of that. The best part about the St. Patrick's Day parade, though, is me and my best friend Brian. We would get the plastic samurai swords from the vendors, and that was our favorite part. So we could chase each other around the neighborhood with samurai swords, for at least the rest of the summer, because after a while they'd break. What I mean? You know what I'm talking about. Well, hello, and it's welcome to the Comics Talk with Reverend Sully. It is the Sunday show, and it's the live stream. And tell people to tune in later. Like, my kids are 1/16 Irish. That's all, and you're all Irish today. Sláinte. Everybody's Irish today, if you want. What was this, Captain Sully? The SS St. Patty's Day. You doing this, then gonna imbibe some stuff? No, I did that yesterday. I had my boiled dinner, and it was really good. I enjoyed it greatly. Do I have pictures? I'll show you pictures. I got pictures. I got photographic evidence of this wonderful meal that I had at my local pub. My local pub is it's an Irish bar, Old Magoon Saloon in Somerville, Massachusetts, at the foot of Winna Hill. Winna Hill, you heard of the Winna Hill gang? That's where that was Whitey Bulge's gang. The Winna Hill gang. Yeah, that's my this is my boiled dinner from yesterday and my pint of Guinness. That's your friend Sully celebrating St. Patrick's Day. Yeah, I had a couple of pints of Guinness, and it was nice, and I had a great boiled dinner. That was great. And wearing of the green, Are you wearing some green out there today, everyone? Hey, Dwayne Muth, good to see you in the chat. Everybody showing up. That's great. Indeed. I hope you get some boiled dinner, and you too. I mean, I love boiled dinner, and I love comic books, and I'm glad that we all get to meet up here for comic books and comics talks. And we're going to talk about the reviews. I read about 16 different Marvel books this week. I read about 10 different DC books this week. And then I got, besides the stinky cheese, this is the stinky cheese again. It's the last of it. And what's in the bag? We'll find out a little later at the end of the show. But the ubiquitous brown paper flat bag full of funny books from this week. Great comics this week. And I also got something in the mail from a crowdfunder. And I haven't even opened it yet. So we'll do that together. It's unboxed. So it's not an unboxing. It is, though, it's quality. I'll tell you that much. It's really nice. And so good to see everyone out there. And happy St. Patrick's Day. And let's talk about some comic books. What comic books did we read this week? We read, I think, 16 of the 17 Marvel books that were in my pirate chest. Starting, with Wolverine 45, which is the halfway point of the Sabretooth War. It's a 10-part story every 2 weeks, $4.99. So they're getting $50 out of me. 50. Stinky cheese. They're getting $50 out of me for this. And yeah. Mm. 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 As my therapist says, let's stick a pin in that and move on to, So did you reach Ghost Rider Final Vengeance after imbibing a couple of pints? I did. It was okay. It wasn't great. We'll get to that in just a little bit, literally. And that's in our stack. I read that this week. But I also, I read Wolverine number 45. It's fine. It's kind of safe as milk now because we know that Wolverine survives this and goes on to do Fall of House of X, and he's going to be in his own Wolverine book and the new X-Men team by Gail Simone and David Marquez. He's, front and center on that X-Men team, the Uncanny X-Men. That's cool. We'll talk about that a little bit too. And, but yeah, Transformers number 6 was really good. Yeah. And, but we'll talk about that in due time. But yeah, we'll talk about Wolverine 45 as well, because it could be in the bag. We looked at What If Venom number 2 of, I think it's a 3. It's what ifs are single issues. So this is playing in the what if, category of the mashup superheroes again. I talk about this enough, but it's like, it's got a mashup of Venom and She-Hulk. So what if Venom selected Jennifer Walters over Eddie Brock that night, that fateful night in the church, also that like a splinter of the symbiote was taken at a very early, at a certain time, and then grafted onto the Weapon X Logan or something like that. I looked at it. I breezed through it. And this is like, so I gave us a mashup of Wolverine and a symbiote. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Really? Indeed. They're probably just trying to get whatever little money they can out of that. Flash, the Flash with Ezra Miller, that you can pick that up for $10. I was thinking about picking it up. I didn't have any problems with that movie like the most of everyone else did. Seriously, I thought it was a foolish movie. There was Black Panther, Ultimate Black Panther issue 2. By Brian Hill and Stefano Caselli. There was a traitor in the house of T'Challa. And who is it? And Aurora will be part of this story. But T'Challa is married to somebody else already in this reality. How will that pan? I don't know. It's interesting stuff. I hope they keep it on these some kind of basic story notes where it's just propelling and entertaining. Because I'm already thinking exactly, Lane Kramer. I'm like, I was talking about this with Jim Werner from Weird Science Comics, and that was the first thing out of my mouth was like, I think it's Okoye, who's the traitor, and this is also set up hopefully after a betrayal. Maybe T'Challa and Aurora's blossoming love. Wouldn't that be cool? I'd like to see something like that. And, rewarding story notes, huh? The stinky cheese. It's provolone. It really is. It's pretty good. It's darn good. But it's who cut the cheese? Whoa, really? Damn good. Oh, exactly. I got some hot chocolate too. My Hobbit snack before supper tonight. Exactly. But Ultimate Black Panther, it was fun. Yeah, it's good. And it's mistakenly on my pull list. So I had to communicate to my LCS, oh, can you please take Ultimate Black Panther off of my pull list? Because there was the confusion about Ultimate X-Men, which I got because they told me last week, don't worry, we'll get you a copy of that. And I ended up getting offered the copy, the variant cover that I wanted, and I'm very happy with that. We'll don't worry. The cat's in the bag, isn't it? Oh, waka waka. Symbiote Spider-Man 2099 by Peter David. And it was okay. It was a lot more okay than I figured. Am I blocked on Twitter by Peter David? Let's check. I love doing this. It's Peter David. Peter A. David. And oh, is he on Twitter? There it is, Peter David, PAD. Okay. And I'm not blocked by him. All right. It's usually about the time I'll just blindly follow them, just so maybe that's in their filter. They follow me, but they're following Ethan too. He's got taste. He's controversial. He's a maverick, but I'll keep him. And let's see. Yeah, Symbiote Spider-Man, it's part 1, 2099. It's all right. Yeah, it was fun because it's just it's a universal superhero story, and it's Spider-Man, but it's the generational Spider. It works. I like it a lot, and it's got this future New York, Nuevo Yorka. You know what I mean? And I love the design of Miguel O'Hara's Spider-Man 2099 suit. It had, what, you can tell because it never really tinkered with it from its inception. This is an unchanged design over 30 years, was it 35 years actually, right? Yeah, there are some I'm looking forward to talking more about Marvel Star Wars books, and I'm glad we're here for this conversation. And And so yeah, and ale, yeah, and there's something in this bag that we'll talk about when we get to the bag. That's neither Marvel or DC, but it's really, interesting. Yeah, but Symbiote Spider-Man 2099. It's okay. Yeah. If you want to take a chance on a funny book, it's there for you. We've got Greg Pack and the Soldiers of the Sisms and Star Wars Darth Vader. This is boring, and I would love to say positive things about a Greg Pak book. You know what I mean? Because I don't have to like you in order to like your work. And hey, but you're blind to Twitter blocks using group lists. That's more about you than it is about me. And I refuse to give you any of my money. But I will read free copies of your stuff. And I will give you respectful feedback every time. And I will give you praise when it's worthy. Star Wars Mace Windu #2. Written by Mark Bernardin, art by George Zanti, with inks by Dexter Vines. So it's Black History Month. Well, it was in February. So issue 1 came out. So there's it's about Sam Jackson's Jedi of Color. Mace Windu, and he's on an adventure, and there's people that look like him. There are people of color, in this. But it's like, for me, it was like the beware the boar worms of Romira. And I'm like, boar worms are from Flash Gordon. Yes. This is like, I think that's kind of weird. It is The Last Mermaid. Yes. I was talking, I got a copy of that. I was raving about that in Wes's chat yesterday. And hello, Phil the Kill. I've seen brawls break out over Last Mermaid opinions. Great! A brouhaha! Yes, bring it! Oh, McKinley is dead. McCormick don't know it. McCormick is dead. McKinley don't know it. They both are dead. They're lying in bed, and neither one knows the other one's dead. Oi, 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 oi! Oh, McKinley is dead, and McCormick don't know it. McCormick is dead, and McKinley don't know it. They both are dead. They're lying in bed, and neither one knows the other one's dead. Oi, oi, oi! Happy St. Patrick's Day. Oh, I'm gonna get that clipped, aren't I? I hope so. Make a joyful noise unto the Lord and each other. Mace Windu #2. I wasn't very into it. Wasn't. I mean, you know what I mean? It's got really quality team. And it's just a story. You know what I mean? And it's just Mace Windu and girl and purple lightsabers and stuff happens. Jedi stuff happens. Jedi business. Yeah, it's okay, but I'm glad I'm reading it. Oh, there was Spider-Gwen Smash 4 of 4. Yeah, and I read it. Yeah, because it's free. And I should be rating this stuff to expose myself to what's going on. When teenager Gwen Stacy suits up in her synthetic symbiotic suit and web shooters, she gains amazing powers. A spider sense that warns her of danger, the ability to stick to walls with her adhesive fingertips and toes, the proportional speed and strength of a spider, and the ability to throw and swing from webs. Her skills as a drummer, though, those come naturally. It's a constant struggle to balance her commitment to her band, the Mary Janes, and her superhero responsibilities as Ghost Spider. But you may know her as Spider-Gwen Smash. Well, cool. We're gonna get to that when we open up the bag and see what's play what's in the bag. But I can guarantee you that's in it. And we're on Earth 65. and Bruce Banner's a bad guy. He's trying to steal Dazzler because he's got some kind of weird unrequited crush on her or something, and wants to, like, play with her powers too. And he's got his but he gets angry and he turns into the Hulk. And it actually throws into it's Melissa Flores is the writer, Enid Balam is the penciler, and it's just Cifuentes Sujo is the colorist, Elizabeth D'Amico is the inker, and Ariana Maher is the letterer. So it sounds like it's all girls. That's fine, these are like made for, they're going for a specific audience. What's up, James? How you doing? And but one thing I liked about this, though, it was when Banner turned into Hulk. Hulk, hates Banner, and that's an ongoing thing too. It's like Hulk doesn't like Banner much, and Banner doesn't like Hulk, and but it's more like, no, Hulk's a good guy, Banner's the bad guy, and it's made like the dichotomy of Hulk is really put on display very succinctly and well in this. And because I was rolling my eyes an issue or two ago, and it's like, oh boy, Bruce Banner, big bad. But the Hulk part of it gave it the balance it really needed. Just saying, and it wasn't entirely terrible. And it's just it's just not made for me. I'm fine with that. But I as I always say, I hope whomever this is made for shows up and spends their money at the local comic book shop to get these, and not just the periodicals, but the trades, and show up and buy these. Yes, from your local comic book shops, your LCS. That's right. They are independent bookstores. They are, you know what I mean? Mom and pop brick and mortar shops, the American way. Hey, Story Nexus. Hello. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Hello to Pika Shades. How are you? And say, I have the next week off of work. Now, that means you've probably given yourself a lot more work to do, to be honest. No one this is made for buys comics. That AL has a great point. This is true. And that's the whole thing of just chasing the new customer. Again, like me being like in format of the medium, Spider-Gwen Smash, release it in a digest tankobon sized format and really try to put a hardcore, a full court press onto, like, say, the Scholastic part of it. But they already have YA. They already have like a YA pipeline for that kind of material. We really do. And Bone is out there too. Hello, Bone. Happy St. Paddy's Day. Ha 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 ha. That's right. Thank you so very much for tuning in. And we have got Power Pack Into the Storm, number 3 of 4. I believe it's 4. I hope it's 4. Storm shows up, and it's 80s Storm. That's cool because the kids are kids. So it's all kind of contemporary to itself. Now, it says that this story takes place after Power Pack Grow Up, number 1. But why don't you give me like something like more succinct, like this takes place between Power Pack issue 21 and 23, before all the Morlock stuff had started happening or something. I'm just making that part up. I'm just pulling that out of my ass. I could be right. I could be wrong. But it's Louise Simonson and artist June Brigman, and they're the original team on Power Pack. And it's really kid friendly, I think. And this is like, who is this made for? I think this was made for kids. Like, I think that Weezy Simonson is writing something for her grandchildren. You know what I mean? Using, characters that she invented, and hopefully that she has a creator, stakes in too. Let's see. Good idea. Do something with these off-the-wall comics that are unsellable and make them unique and fun somehow. Personally, I think we need to get back to continuity with everything. Sure, there should be like a core of comics, like, in the big 2, that are just like strict by the book, the most continuity, straight-laced, not played for goofs, great art, heroic poses, heroic dialogue, heroic ideals, and to have this really lean set of titles, and then around it, try your boutique stuff. Try selling that, you know, the girl-oriented stuff. See if it works. You need like smaller print runs and shit. I have no idea. Because we don't know how many issues of any kind of comic book sells anymore. Because we're bad fans. We used it against them to shame them and to try to capitulate to our needs. You know, all the shows that like use sales figures. What else do we have? Immortal Thor number 8. This is written by Al Ewing with incredibly amazing art by Roberson. It's like great pencil work. I mean, the stories just are a little bit beyond me, and they just go over my head. But the line art and the panels, the sequences, just everything in this works. It's a really awesome looking book. And yeah, Ibrahim Roberson. Yeah. And once again, incredibly good Alex Ross covers to this book as well. And that's nice. Robust chat. Everyone getting along. That's nice. And we haven't had problems here since we had to escort, well, what's that face? Oh, they got rowdy that one time and, started throwing popcorn at people. I'm kidding. Never happened. We have Ghost Rider Final Vengeance issue number 1, which also is billed as legacy number 265. And it's by Ben Percy and with art by Kim, Danny Kim. And it's more about Zarathos, the spirit of vengeance, the ghost in the ghost in the rider, and Zarathos is looking for a more suitable host. It's rejecting Johnny Blaze because Johnny Blaze is like, using Zarathos's power to be a good guy. And that's not Zarathos's role. He's the spirit of vengeance. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter if you're good or evil. I mean, we're screaming for vengeance, and that's what's going to. So the entire book goes through different candidates, of like, it's a lot like if you read the Green Lantern stuff and this, you have much rage in your heart. The Red Lantern Corps welcomes you, that kind of shit. And like, rage-filled people around the world getting their comeuppance. And this is one really good scene with a mother who's having her child being almost taken away, her children taken away by social services. And that's at that exact moment, the Zarathos comes into the mother's body, and the children are like, lock the old lady who's going to take them away from. And they said, no, we want to stay with mommy. She'll do anything to protect us. And it's just like, and then the spirit of vengeance does their flaming skull thing. And then it hops from person to, character to character, and trying to find a good fit. And by the end of this issue, we have found its host. And let's wait till the next issue to spoil that. Give it a little time. I don't want to, it's one thing to talk about comics, but let's give people a chance. You might already know who the new Ghost Rider is right now. Yeah. Indeed. Consistent continuity without the multi-universe confusion or numerous watered-down reboots every few months. Yeah, I mean, DC Comics went, 25 years between Crisis on Infinite Earths. Is it 30 years? No, 85, 95, 2000. That was 20. Yeah, about two. It went 20 years without having to tinker with the continuity much between Crisis on Infinite Earths and Infinite Crisis. And, you know, there was a lot of things along the way, especially 0 Hour. You know, sure, I liked 0 Hour a lot, to be honest, especially at the time, too. And, yeah, exactly. Yeah, thank you. And my email is Reverend Sully at gmail.com. There you go. Don't let it get out. I mean, like, you know, gee, I'm just kidding. I used to have it in the information for the page, and you know, just it's good to be only so available, but also, you know, thanks for asking. Stinky cheese, man. Stinky cheese. Mmm. Mm-hmm. 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 We've come to one of my favorite books of the week. I'm liking this. Fall of the House of X by Jerry Duggan. And who's he working on this with? The art is decent. It's Lucas Wernick and Jethro Morales are the artists. And it's just, they're, you know, this is this moving parts are all being kind of you know, the conductor of this is got to be Jerry Duggan, whether you like him or not. He's writing X-Men. He's writing Invincible Iron Man. He was doing the Uncanny Avengers, and he's doing the Fall of the House of X. So he's doing a lot of the heavy lifting on X-Men right now. So this will go down as the you know, the Jerry Duggan era, probably. We'll figure this out on, actually, there are a couple of books coming out next week. G.I. Joe Real American Hero 305, Cobra Commander number 3. There's Dutch number 2 coming out on Image Comics, if you're into that. There's Superman number 12 I'm looking forward to by Joshua Williamson. I'm really liking that. You know, I'm not looking forward to like the crossover with, because like, I don't care. It's going to cross over with Green Lantern, Action Comics, and Superman, the whole Brainiac Queen story. And I like Duggan, and you know, I enough. You know, he's got some stinkers out there, trust me. But you know, a lot of the Jerry Duggan thing. I have a Jerry Duggan story. I mean, he's literally a friend of a friend. He was a good friend of mine. He was this college roommate. His senior year or something like that, and they lived, you know, in an apartment together. And so last year I'm at Fan Expo Boston, and I'm talking to Jerry Duggan, and like I was like, hey, and I showed him a picture of me and him from 2015. I'm like in my full Captain America outfit. I was like, hey, you remember this guy? That's you. And he's like, yeah, you know, I mean, we had a good moment. He was like, yeah, I'm TD's friend. And then like that later on that night, like the next night, TD texts me and he's like, hey, thanks for, you know, I'm having drinks with Duggan right now. We're catching up. It's been nice. And so like, you know, yeah, he was a nice guy. I actually asked him a question. I was like, hey man, what's up with Nimrod and his sense of humor, or like uses contractions, and he's really kind of like you know, flippant almost. He's like, well, yeah, he's a younger AI, and this version of Nimrod is young. So he's kind of coming at him like writing him like a teenager with that kind of like attitude to him in a way, you know. And yes, 0 Hour was short and sweet. and left us a really nice glossary. It had a really nice the timeline of the DC universe. I really like that stuff. You know what I mean? It's like 37 years ago, a rocket crashes onto a Smallville, Kansas farm. 36 years ago, blah blah blah. But it's like, okay, so you can say that Superman's like 37 years old. Seriously, dude, I loved that kind of level of stuff in the 0 hour stuff, timelines, because you were like, oh wow, Batman's 37, Superman's 38. Wonder Woman, well, she's kind of ageless, but Duggan is definitely not a comic book superhero writer. Well, he may be a great guy, but comics are not just his bag. I think maybe he's just over his head, to say it nicely. Well, he's been given the ball, and it's almost over. We'll see where Jerry does, in the next iteration of the X-Men, of the Brevoort line. Just maybe he was Jordan White's, go-to. So now with the new manager, hey, give me the ball. Someone else has the ball. He might want to break from this after all of, the hullabaloo and the this and that and social media culture. And we've heard those things about the new X-Men that's coming out in June, that who wanted it? Well, everybody passed on it. Mm-hmm. Stinky cheese. Wow. Another slice. What else did we read this week from Marvel Comics? Dead X-Men number 3. Phoned in by Steve Fox. Oh man, this is a stinker. I mean, I'm glad to be reading all of these Fall of the House of X titles. And the end of the Krakoan age. I'm a witness to this. I don't have to spend money on it because they're in my digital pirate chest. And literally, there is one good title of this. It's Wolverine. I am spending money on that because it's that good. So if it's good, if it's worth it, I will go back and get it. Seriously. But Dead X-Men 3, it's like, oh boy, it's a slug. It's a bore. The art is kind of terrible. It just feels really phoned in and phony. You know what I mean? Just none of this will matter. These are one of the tie-ins that, none of this will matter. Yeah, I mean, I was watching your boy Zach last week. There's many. Who do you watch? I watch Wes. I watch Zach. I watch Perch. I watch Yule Carter. I watch Clownfish. And they don't talk about comics much. I watch Max von Priestley sometimes. And tune into to Josh's Pop by Culture show, Josh McDonald's, once in a while, because some of that stuff's past my bedtime. And Josh usually has Aaron Sparrow and the brothers on too. So Drew and Kale, yeah. And what else? Carnage number 5 was okay, but it ended up kind of being and Jim from Weird Science Comics, yeah. I mean, so yeah, I ended up watching a ton of YouTube content, every week. And then Wes, it's kind of there's Doc, there's Aaron, you know what I mean? He's actually doing some Patreon stuff now. I think he's doing all 27 issues of Planetary with 32 flavors at Nick Weiser. That's cool. Nick's fun. Check that out if you can. Let's see. Carnage. Yeah, Carnage 5 was because it had good panels. It had decent art. It was over the top horror kind of thing. Torrin Grunbeck's ripping it up. You know what I mean? Some good words for some of the ladies that are writing our superhero stories out there. Yet by the end of it, it was kind of mirroring panels that she had already laid down on the previous issue of Venom, because there's a mini crossover between Venom and Carnage right now that Torrin Grönbeck's doing. I want superheroes with heart and soul put into it, being heroic. Do you like the back and forth with Wolverine's writers? I kind of just I haven't been reading it consistently enough to really know who's doing what. Hey, Larry Hama should be writing Wolverine now. I mean, Ben Percy's doing a decent job, really. I mean, and his Wolverine versus Predator was pretty darn good too. I felt like he missed up the ending a bit, but overall, the majority of that book is just solid, especially with artwork and really embracing the totality of our friend Logan. It was good stuff. But I would love to see Larry Hama. He's doing such a good job on G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero right now. I mean, bring him back, bring him back. He needs work. He's 75 years old and he's saying I can't retire because it's let him work, let him write. Exactly. We had Black Widow and Hawkeye #1, written by Stephanie Phillips. And this is probably one of the, I'm sorry, I don't want to it sounds like I'm punching down if I say, I don't want to use certain words to be this is the worst comic I read all week kind of thing, but it was a real struggle. It wasn't fun. Especially the opening, which is non-traditional. It had a reverse, a series of flashbacks that just got progressively annoying. Here's your flashback. Oh, the day before that. Oh, the week before that. Oh, the day before that. The hour before that. And it's just the hour after that. Just and it was this complete slog. And it was, I know it's trying to be funny. And then you have the whole mashup of Black Widow and her symbiote. So she's got a symbiote named Widow. And yeah, that's that. I mean, that happened. I read that. Avengers Twilight #4. This is a good book. This is a good book. I'm waiting. Chip Zdarsky's writing this, so it's kind of like you're waiting for the other shoe to drop, The stinky cheese, man. More? Here, you straighten up. There you go. Looking good, kid. Awesome. What else? So yeah, Avengers Twilight #4. Great art by Daniel Acuna. The only thing I gotta say about it, really, it does sound like Frank Miller's Dark Knight Returns in the narrative voice, because we have the first person narrative from Steve Rogers himself in the narrative boxes. And he's always referring to himself as old man. So it's it does go there, but Marvel flavored. And it's an interesting story, especially the big bads and how it's playing out. And I like the designs and I like the art a lot, and the world lived in. And it's pretty cool. I mean, I hope he can land it. Seriously. There was Amazing Spider-Man #45. Written by Zeb Wells, art by Carmen Carnero and Marcio Menz. Great cover by John Romita Jr. and Scott Hanna. And it's just a one-issue kind of thing in between issues, kind of like the gang war event, just bored us all. And it could have been just 6 issues in ASM, and it would have been fine, especially with all that art by Romita Jr. But it's it's a little breather episode, And it has a lot to do with Anna Watson. Who's Anna Watson? That's Aunt Anna, Mary Jane's aunt. You know, her friend, Anna Watson's best friend was May Parker, right? You know, Aunt May and Aunt Anna. And Aunt Anna was sick with something, and she was one of the recipients of the Krakoan medicine that came out of all the Krakoan age. The X-Men made wonder drugs for humanity, and Orcus was able to hack this medicine, this Krakoan medicine, and turn anyone who took it crazy or something. So poor Aunt Anna is in the Ravencroft Institute for the Criminally Insane, among the worst criminals New York has ever seen. And so Peter he's got the cure as part of teaming up with Ms. Marvel and all this stuff. She's got it's he sneaks into Ravencroft to give her a dose of the cure, which is nice. And it's got some Mary Jane and Peter, going to visit her. But it's actually got a really good scene with Sandman. And Peter Parker, is like, what is Sandman doing in here? I thought he reformed. And Sandman was like, I've been having a hard time lately, and I didn't want to be out there. I could potentially do something bad. And it's just there's a nice moment between Peter and Sandman. And that was that. Yeah. It was Alien Black, White, and Blood #2 on the 20th Century Studios, imprint. And I like alien stories, and I these ones were hard to follow. Yeah, sorry. I had some Lansing and Kelly in there. You had some Stephanie Williams. The less said, the better. I don't want I really don't want to be punching down on these poor creators who are they're oversensitive artists to begin with, and just artists are sensitive kind of people, whether you're the writer or doing the, line art, I don't know. Sometimes I want to just cut them a break. Wesley, let's go to the DC comics that we read this week. Was Wesley Dodd's The Sandman, 6 of 6 by Robert Venditti, and art by Riley Rossmo. I want to say that Riley Rossmo really did a good job with not just the dreaminess, the hallucination kind of qualities of it, of being under the gases, but also the Art Deco style of 1940. I really like his style. Really suited the tone and the look of this book. They just heaped a lot of digital finishing effects on top of it, like Ben-Day dots, screen tone filters, and hatching filters too. They're most definitely, these are digital hatching effects to give shadow and shade. And I know that they're used to look for exaggeration, and they're used to look to give it some kind of nostalgic retro quality. But oh gosh. Yeah. But overall, the story elevated those kind of stuff. That's kind of stuff. Robert Venditti really knocked it out of the park with a real kind of pacifist hero. Cheers, and have a wonderful St. Paddy's Day, Bone. Thank you so much for dropping in. Sláinte, and may the road rise to meet you. Aww. My pick of the week for DC Comics was a surprise, and where did it go? I gotta open it up over here. Over here. Come and get me. I'm right here. Yeah. First page, please. Suicide Squad. Countdown to absolute power. It's Suicide Squad Dream Team. And it's written by Natalie Maines, of whom I believe was a writer from the CW show Supergirl, Nicole Maines, and who introduced the character of Dreamer in the first place. So we got pencils by Eddie Barrows, we got actual inks by Iber Ferreira, and but it's just like the camera work that's such a good old hand, such as Eddie Barrows. I mean, I love Eddie Barrows' work, and this is a really good comic book, and it's about light source, and it's about hatching, like real pencil work, and this is about like telling a story in sequential panels. It's about this camera work idea, and this has got this is some really good art and some really good story told. And it's got to do with Amanda Waller. You know, like I'm gonna share this. Like, I mean, I want you to look at some of this art. I want you to look at these 3 panels. Amanda Waller is trying to coerce oh no, wait a second. I can't see it. Where'd it go? Oh, maybe I can't. Okay. Chrome. Oh, window. Here we go. Thank you very much for putting up with me. It's Amanda Waller coercing Dreamer into working for her. And, you know, the hand on the shoulder, brushing off the hand. But I love the work in the glass. Amanda has poured herself a drink, and she's about to, you know, there's ice cubes in there, and it's just I just like this camera work. I think this is really good storytelling right there. I mean, I like that a lot. And this was my pick of the week for DC Comics. This surprised me. I really enjoyed that. That was a pleasant surprise. Indeed. So yeah, Suicide Squad Dream Team #1. That's my rec for the week. I should have picked it up. I didn't. I might just pick it up next week if it's still on the shelf. Speed Force #5, hopefully of 6, I think, and it's about the younger Flashes. Avery Ho, the Flash of China. She's in purple. We have Wallace West, Kid Flash, and like I say, one of these things that would, if you collected them and published it in a tankobon format, you might get that traction you're looking for, especially from the manga crowd, because it has Speed Force seems to have a manga style to it. Is that the right way to say? Did I close that? I mean, you want to look at it real quick? I mean, no, I don't even want to look at it. I'm sorry. Oh no. That's so terrible. I'm sorry about that. And where did the rest of these funny books go? Right here. Speed Force 5. Sinister Sons #2 by Robert Tomasi. Peter Tomasi. No, I was going to say Rollo Tomasi. That's from LA Confidential. The movie, the Rollo Tomasi line is not in the James Ellroy original book. Ooh, I love movies. Sinister Sons #2 was a lot of fun. It's really picked up some steam. I feel like it's written for the trade anyway. Again, this would be a great title to market towards kids in that Tonkabon format, and because it's kid anti-heroes. You got, Lorzod and Sinestro's kid, and they're just up to no good. It's funny. We got Red Hood, The Hill, #2. Waste of time. I'm a huge Jason Todd fan. I hate the design of the newest iteration of his look. I mean, please go back to Judd Winnick's original design of that character, that was successful. Let's see. We got Outsiders #5 by Lansing and Kelly. I think there's one more issue of this. This was the strongest issue out of the 5 I've read so far. It's depressing in a way. I mean, because it makes you realize that instead of having Lansing and Kelly writing a Warren Ellis fan fiction, we could be having Warren Ellis write these very good, write this better the first time. And I just think that it's just, but it just, maybe it makes the other 4 issues a little stronger. Maybe it's just, I don't know. I'm an old fan of Planetary and what they're laying down. If Drummer really wanted access to the bleed, why didn't you just hit up Kyle Rayner, whose ring can traverse the multiverse and the bleed? This is going back to Countdown to Final Crisis. That was established. I wonder if that still holds. That feature of Kyle Rayner's ring. Did he lose that ability in the many ring, and becoming a White Lantern? Reverting back to green? Does he have a different ring? He had a special ring. He had the last ring, the ring that contained the spirit of the Guardians of Oa and the entire Owen battery. I mean, it was just like that was Kyle's ring. Yeah. Awesome. Green Lantern #9 by Jeremy Adams. Pretty decent. Yeah, it's just decent. Hal Jordan finds out more about his ring and his connection to the power, and old friend Tom Kalamadu comes back. And Jeremy Adams brings up a 37-year-old plot point. If you remember, it's about that, maybe 36. I think I was right. 1988, we had this event-wide DC thing called Millennium. And part of Millennium was, the Guardians and the Manhunters were the big bad, the Manhunter robots, and there were Manhunter robots that were sleeper agents. So you don't know which one of your family or friends or teammates is actually the Manhunter robot. I remember, Wally West's dad, Rudolph, was actually a Manhunter. Something like that. I think he got better. But Tom Kalamadu was one of the new Guardians of that. And it was just... So Jeremy Adams brings Millennium full circle. And it was interesting. And I've never read Sandman Mystery Theater. I heard it was exceptionally good. And it's worth it, and it holds up. There was Batman and Robin #7 by Joshua Williamson. Simone Di DeMeo comes back, and it bored me. I mean, I just don't like the art. I totally tune out. I mean, it's been an okay story. I'm liking it, sure, but the art just kills me flat on this. I got no joy. I really don't. But I like Williamson, and you know what? I'm grateful that I get to read it in these pirate chests. And then Action Comics 1063 by Jason Aaron, part 3 of a Bizarro storyline. Well, not for me, man. It's not my thing. I put it down. I was buying Action monthly since Philip Kennedy Johnson was on it, but I put it down for when Jason Aaron came aboard. I wasn't feeling it, and lo and behold, if it was good, I could always go back and get it. You know, I was just like, nah, it's a Bizarro story. I barely like Bizarro stories anyway. But why don't you have a cracker, some cheese, some stinky cheese? Oh. Mm. Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm. Action Comics, huh? Yeah, not my thing. Mm. If anyone can tell me if the covers of SMT were early Photoshop, SMT. It'll come back to me in a second. SMT. Don't know. I said SMT. I'm going to kick myself in the ass when you tell me. But that's it for the digital comics. What's in the bag? That's right. In the bag this week is brought to you by my local comic book shop and the ones that are around you that you could be going to. Oh, Sam, thank you very much. Yeah, we just exactly. So what's in the bag? Well, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 comic books. And this is the one that they got me from last week. And they were going to sell it for $12, but instead gave it to me at cover price, $5.99. This is the Peach Momoko 1 in 10 variant cover for Ultimate X-Men #1. This is the one I wanted the most, and I got it, and I'm so psyched. And yeah, and there you shall stay. I will read you one day. Let's see. I got 2 Image comics. I've got 1 DC comic and 2 Marvel comics, but one of them really doesn't count because it's the Blood Hunt Diaries, the free issue. This is issue 0 of Blood Hunt. And it's this was free comic book. It gives you a checklist. These are all the tie-ins for Blood Hunt. I decided to go in on Blood Hunt, the core titles, number 1 through 5, because it's specifically Blood Hunt Red Band, which is, I guess, the Red Band variant. This excerpt is pulled from the main version of the issue, but those who aren't faint of heart will also want to check out our expanded and unexpurgated Red Band edition. Blood Hunt Red Band #1 will mark the first time that a different edition of the same Marvel comic book is produced for more mature readers, a fitting feature for this blood-soaked saga. So I guess it's just, it's about vampires and finding, different vampires. But yeah, this is the 0 issue. It's got a little bit of art, preview art from issue 1, which is the reason why I'm getting it. Pepe Larraz is doing the work on Blood Hunt. 1 through 5, and I'm in for Pepe Larraz, and I probably won't touch anything else. You know, there's everything line wide. Everything's going to tie into it. You know what I mean? Only you can be seduced. I mean, come on. Juan Jose Reap on Wolverine. Oh, come on. Oh, make it hard on me. Or ASM 49 bringing back John Romita Jr. Please. I've been begging for that, you know. I love Journey, but, you know, I usually don't buy Amazing Spider-Man. Maybe I might for this. You never know. But yeah, that's Blood Hunt, issue 0. Free comic, and it's going to go with the collection of 1 through 5. What else did we get this week? What's in the bag? What's in the bag? Green Lantern number 9. Here you go. Boom, boom, boom. Ain't that cool? Yeah. Because this is the new millennium, and I am the last of the new Guardians. See that millennium? That was the trade dress that was on the, you know, just the logo of the core title. And then everything else had like Millennium Week 5, Millennium Week 12, and stuff like that. And so Hal can finally get off planet. Now I'm wondering what's up with these Red Lanterns. Look at their logo. That's not the traditional Red Lantern logo. That looks just like the Green Lantern logo, but with red coloring. I mean, have the different cores been, you know, have their design changed? Are they doing that? Because we all know that you know who, Voldemort of comic books, designed all those different lantern logos. And he gets residual checks a few times a year from DC Comics because of, like, you know, the different uses for his brilliant designs, especially like such as Atrocitus, the Red Lantern. You know, we got Wolverine. I was telling you about this earlier. Yeah, it's Wolverine Part 5, the Sabretooth War. It's just good stuff. I'm liking this, and yeah, literally, it's got my dollar. You know, here's your info dump page. I mean, note, this story takes place after X-Force 50 and prior to Fall of the House of X and Rise of the Powers of 10, numbers 1. Your scorecard, if you're keeping, you know, never too big on the Exiles, so, you know, it's something, you know. Oh, and bullpen. I like that bullpen notes there. This is about Peach Momoko. You know I love Peach Momoko. I love me some Peach. Yeah, What If Venom, number 3. We were just talking about that. And it's Stephen Strange and Venom. Whoop-de-doo. These mashup characters. They just mash up crazy. And the last 2 books that we have in print this week, we've got Transformers number 6, completing the first opening arc of this amazing comic book by written and drawn by Daniel Warren Johnson. Daniel Warren Johnson will be handing over art duties to Jorge Corona, and starting next month, but still writing it. We'll see how it goes. You know, I'm still in for it, and this is a bittersweet story, but it's such great art. It's like Optimus Prime versus Devastator. This is Battle Royale. Oh gosh, this is such good stuff. And here, yeah, suggested by Yule Carter of Fantastic Comics in Berkeley, California, is the awkwardly shaped format of The Last Mermaid. It's number 1. And I was just taking a chance on it. I mean, it's very digital, and it's a lot like, I believe that the writer and artist here, Derek Kirk Kim, is an animator, and these are like storyboards for what would eventually be the animated version of this. And it's interesting. It's about like the earth is dried up, okay, and inside this this little vessel here is the last mermaid on Earth, and inside that capsule is could be some of the last water on planet Earth. And she's in this little capsule, and the water toxicity, she needs to change her water or else she's gonna die. So then she just like, we got to get out of here and find some water. And so she revs up the capsule, and it ends up being some kind of Gundam kind of suit. Ain't that cool? And inside that capsule it's water filled, and that's where the last mermaid is. And it's decent. I mean, yeah, I'll be back for issue 2. And why did this cause such a stir? I have no idea. I'll have to look at that up. But yeah, I think it's got great design. It's interesting, and I'm glad I took a chance on it too. And those are the comics for this week. Oh, indeed. Except for, we got one more. We're going into overtime. Oh, awesome. Let me just pull this up. Excuse me while I whip this out. That's here we go. Oh, I backed Super Dead issue 2. Okay. My contributions. Let's see. Ghost of Metacomicbookes. I paid $40 for this. And so they're basically $30 for the book and $10 for shipping and handling, which includes a Gemini mailer. So it doesn't, so it survives the trip. I ordered this on October 9th, 2023. And it had an estimated delivery of August of 2023. But with the first self-production and the nature of the business, it got pushed back a little bit, because you have to proofread it. You have to get you have to price paper, and you might get a cheaper quote for somewhere else. And you might have to scramble around trying to find a binder after you print it. And then and so, and I bet you they distributed them themselves. Well, this is The Ghosts of Metacomicbookes by Graham Nolan, the legendary Graham Nolan. I love following him on Twitter. I love his art. This goes way back to Batman 30 years ago. I haven't opened this yet, so let's see what's in the bag. We got a nice letter from Compass Comics, Graham himself, thanking us and his family for, we are a small company with big ideas, working hard to make comics again. And it's our, sincere hope that you liked our ghost story. See, that's nice. But also love the cards. This is a trading card that came with it. Except that's I think the first cover, the original, the A cover. I got a B cover or a C cover, which I believe this is glow in the dark as well. That's the whole thing about this cover, is it glows in the dark. Came with a sticker and a bookmark too. Ain't that cool? Aw, I'm loving this. Thank you, Graham. And Graham Nolan is such a nice guy. He's the elder statesman of CG, and don't be afraid to get his books. I mean, it's just this classic storytelling, good panels, just great art. I mean, it's the first I've cracked it open. I'm not too familiar with the story, and I'm giving it a chance to yep, this is good stuff. I'm looking into this. Great. Thank you so very much. I think someone demanded you'll turn in his card for liking. Yeah, we saw that on the chat and Thinking Critical, and I think I had never seen that person in chat before, and yeah, Yule brought that up on his show, and he was just like, "Huh, what's up with that?" And I'm like, I wouldn't worry about it. Literally, I've been in that chat for over a good part of 2 years now, almost every weekend, and you got to get a sense of like who's there. And that cat, I've never seen that cat before, and it's not bad. I mean, yeah, The Last Mermaid, not bad at all. Well, cool. Anything else? What else is on the list here? Oh, it's here, copious amount of show notes here at Pika. Yeah, the new X-Men announcement. You want to talk about that? It's on the list, huh? All right. That's what we do. We make show. Let's share that screen. Share screen sharing with, oh, here we are. All right. Sharing this image right now. This art by Ryan Stegman, which we have a triptych of all three covers. We go from all the over here with Wolverine up front, and see the Uncanny X-Men by Gail Simone and David Marquez. Ryan Stegman did this triptych cover. Ryan Stegman is doing adjectiveless X-Men by Jed McKay and Ryan Stegman himself. Behold, Cyclops' new outfit. We got, we'll get into that in a second too. Like, you know, who's who on what team. Then we have Eve Ewing's Exceptional X-Men, which this is a team led by Kitty Pryde, who's right here in the front. And it's centered in Chicago, and she finds these three new mutants. And she gets some help from Emma Frost. And, you know, it's her turn to train the next generation. And I'm loving. Look at the bust on Jubilee. She is sure grown up. Damn. Thank you, Ryan Stegman. And nice looking Rogue. I like, love Rogue and Gambit. Love Nightcrawler. You know what I mean? I hope this one takes off. Maybe I might get this one. Oh boy. Graham lives in my neck of the woods, and I've known him since he was over at Eclipse in the 80s. Yeah, and yeah, me too. Yeah, and then one day he just started inviting me on the show, and I just like, how did I get on his radio? I don't care. All I know, hey, he just keeps inviting me back, and I keep on saying yes. And I'm also proud to be, one of his bench players. So if somebody calls out sick or something like that, I've gotten the call a few times, being like, "Hey, can you come on the show? Sorry for the short notice." I'm like, "Yeah, I'll be there." It was, I'm in the chat anyway. That's happened a few times, and it's always fun. And Exceptional X-Men is a series walking, a dead series walking. It could be. I mean, I think, okay, Eve Ewing, I think, is doing a good job on Black Panther when she's focusing on T'Challa. When the story loses its focus on peripheral players, I think the story totally falls apart and it becomes boring. So maybe, and I think that every writer has a story in them. Hopefully this is her story that's waiting to get out. I mean, look at the bust of Magic. Yeah. I'm a big Ilyana Rasputin fan. And holy shit, they put so much clothes on Psylocke. Remember, that's Quanon. Betsy Braddock is Captain Britain. We got Beast. So, I mean, which Beast is this? Is this the last clone, the 70, the new Defenders Beast that got hatched over in X-Force? If you're reading X-Force, and Ilyana Rasputin, she's a teleporter. We got Quentin Quire, Omega level. There's Oya, and she's got a new code name. Oya has powers of ice and fire, so that's like that. That's her gig. What's her new? I want the old Psylocke back too. I know. Hey there, a fellow grand rising to you, and Sabaner. And that looks like Magneto. Okay, doing like he's in the chair, and of course he's the master of magnetism, so he just has to levitate the chair, and he's wearing the helmet. I thought that was Charles for a second. Why would he be wearing the helmet? Well, so nobody could psychically attack him, right? And that Cyclops looks a little young too. I wonder if that's a giveaway to be like, hey, it did? Indeed. Hold on one second. Wearing the green from the inside out. Be right there. All right. Woo! Happy 420. But it's a beautiful day here. It's St. Patty's Day here in Boston, Massachusetts. Who is Voldemort, the comic book guy? Ethan Van Sciver, of course. We can't say his name, or else we turn into to evil minions, and then we get canceled on Twitter and for being adjacent. I mean, I try to stay out of all the culture war nonsense, and especially all the infighting. I mean, oh god, he's having this legendary throwdown with Eric July and the FNT boys. Gosh, it's just, but he is who he is, man. He's like, I think he thinks he's Howard Stern, but hey, he's filling that, he's filling that that marketplace gap, because Howard Stern isn't Howard Stern anymore. Is Emma still going to be married to Tony Stark? You never know. That's something to flesh out. And because in one of those issues of Iron Man, like the last issue of Iron Man, he's like, I've gotten this kind of kiss before. And, that means there's trouble on the horizon or something. But, yeah, I agree. He's a hell of an artist. But, yeah, this X-Men coming up from the ashes. And also, that's what I wanted to show. Because it's 100%. Oh, no, I'm not inviting anyone to the show. Share screen, you thingy, you. Is that it? Oh, there we are. Okay. Here we go. So we're going to eventually have 9 X titles. Okay. So we have writing teams and art teams for the 3 X-Men titles already. So we're also being teased Phoenix, X Factor, and Phoenix, NYX, X Factor, X Force, Storm, and Wolverine. But I want you to pay close attention to the trade dress, to the iconic look of X Factor, X Force, and Wolverine. That's logo design, that's trade dress, and those are the logos from the old comics from the 80s and 90s. That's the way it looked. And also looking at X-Men, especially Uncanny X-Men, and this is as classic as you can get. This just might be the same old font in the old trade dress, and that's maybe meant to, make you think like, oh, everything old is new again in a way. I don't know. What do you think about that? I tried reading Rick Remender's new book. It was a little over my head, but I do like Sacrificers a lot. I'll tell you that much. Oh, right. Yeah, DNR the X-Men, huh? Aw. Yeah, Emma and Tony are, I think they're legally married. How long that will be, don't know. But, so yeah, I got Graham Nolan's Ghost of Matacumbe Key. I ordered it on October 9th, 2023. October, November, December, January, March, April. So was that 4 months? That's October, November, December, January, February, March. 5 months. That's what it took. 5 months from when I backed it to fulfillment being honored. And in the middle of all that, he was still finishing it up. Had to have it proofed, printed, bound, and fulfilled too. I think they fulfill, unless they're using a fulfillment service, they're probably like doing it like everyone else at home, themselves. And yeah, I know, huh? And now I'm looking to see like, oh, all these different campaigns I've backed. Yeah, like Kit Carter by Aaron Lopresti, Ethan Van Sciver, Cyber Frog 3, Red Extermination. Its estimated delivery is December of 2024. Yes, and I'm still waiting on Rainbow the Brute, and that's the most outstanding one he's got, and he's a couple of years behind on that. And I backed that at an executive level. I'll let you know. Yeah, when did you back Rainbow the Brute? I'll let you know here. The first time I backed Rainbow the Brute was back in April 14th of 2021, and it had an estimated delivery of December 2021. And I backed it a second time. When did I back it that second time? A year later, December 11th, 2022. It's already a year late. And I also, so both of them, I got the executive briefcase edition, which has got the complete package. The briefcase is actually a lunchbox, and we met the tier goal, so we're getting a thermos with the lunchbox. And but that is grievously late. But I'm not sore about it. Because thank you, Lane Kramer. Good to see you, buddy. You're not old. You're classic. That's it. Don't take any of the guff from anyone. Good to see you, and thank you for making time and hanging out with us. And but yeah, I mean, I backed Inglorious Rex January 20th, 2023. The one I guess I'm most sore about would be August 26, 2021. I backed Godlike, the Romulus Saga, at the Ascendant level, which is $87, and that's $10 for the shipping and stuff
So I spent $97, almost $100 on John Malin's Godlike. And then 6 months ago or so, he finally got the Dale Keown variant cover. And he had a second chance campaign for that. And I actually sent him a message through Indiegogo because I didn't want to air my business on Twitter or anything. I was like, I just wanted to know, can I switch them out? And like, you don't have to worry about. I was like, I would love to be able to switch, to have that Dale Keown cover. I don't need 2 covers. I don't need 2 copies of this book. That's one thing about backing these crowdfunding books. I've got, I don't need multiple copies of the same book. I just don't. And sometimes when you get it at the higher level, it's like you can get all the variant covers stuff, sure, but I mean, I don't know. Like it's called the Accent one. This was at the top tier level, so I'm already like, thinking like, would all the variant covers be included in that? No, it's like it's own. It was its own thing. Like, continue reading. I mean, it's the Accent 75 USD, 1 copy each of Godlike Volume 1, graphic novel, supplemental graphic novel, and Visions #2, plus a trading card. And estimated shipping September 2022. And yeah, and I was like, I just wanted to know if I could just switch it out for a Dale Keown, and he never got back to me. I used the Indiegogo internal messenger, and I was like, he never got back to me. That really soured me. Like, so now it's like, it's kind of affected the way I watch the Jack Show. It's not like he didn't even get like, a response. Be like, no, I have to worry about ordering and inventories. I can't do that. You know what I mean? Because you can negotiate with no. You know what I mean? I would have countered, well, like, I'm not asking for a price break. I'm just asking, could you switch the copies? Like, I would love to have the Dale Keown version. I only want 1 copy of Godlike. I would love to have the Dale Keown, but you can't negotiate with being ignored. You can't negotiate with silence. And now I'm like, I try not to fall into the, a pit of stinky thinking like, wow, that was disrespectful. I spent almost $100 with you, and you didn't have the decency to respond to my direct inquiry. And I get angry. I'm like, what are you, a fucking punk? I don't want to be like, but he kind of is a punk. I don't mean that nicely, because like, I watch his show a lot. I watch the Jack Show like weekly for years now. I wake up on a Friday morning, usually 3:30. Jack Show's usually just wrapping up. And it's, how wasted is Cecil? How goofy is Anna? You know what I mean? And like, I like that, stuff. I'm that, I watch them. I watch Ethan. I watch Jack Show. And that's my brand. But it's more of like, I just feel like kind of pissed off about this. It's like, I don't want to say anything more than I already said. I mean, I sent you, wow, I'm a little insulted, and I just want this over with, and that's it. Because, like, geez, I like social media, and I like the people that I associate with. Like, I got Ethan followed me on Twitter, Cecil followed me on Twitter, Anna followed me on Twitter, Shane followed me on Twitter. I mean, I don't want to, like, say shit to Malin and be like, hey, dude, fucko, what the fuck? I'd like to, though. I'm not doing that here, doing that now. I'm not. I've resolved myself to be like, you know what? Godlike has been printed. He's going to be fulfilling it very shortly. And once it's done, it's done. I can just don't have to shop with him again. I don't. and try not to let it affect, you know what I mean, in the enjoyment of the shows that you watch that he's always included on. And so I'm like, oh, okay. Well, cool. I got a little bit extra out of that, and I got that off my chest. Yeah, John Malin. You know what I mean? Seriously, what the fuck, kid? I spent $100 with you, and you can't even respond to me, dude. That's on you, pal. And you know I like you, and you know I like your show, and I like your friends, and the whole thing, man. I didn't do anything against you to friggin' deserve, like, you can. I mean, just, geez, I understand, like, you know, you ordered what you ordered. I don't need 2 copies of this, though. I mean, you know, just like, but like I said, you can't negotiate with silence, and you can always interpret that, I mean, as disrespect. I mean, I didn't spend $100 with you for that. That's my experience shopping with you, John. Sorry, kid. Well, yeah, thank you so very much for tuning in today. We've been talking about comic books. We get comic books from the LCS. We get comics digitally. We get comics through crowdfunding. This is great. Graham Nolan, he's really cool. And no, I've actually had, you know, decent tweets and interactions with Malin in the past. Like I said, I didn't want to bring this up on Twitter. It's no one's business. You know what I mean? It's not me trying to, you know, because there's so many fucking bad things going on with social media, and these people get, you know, so much like bad stuff thrown their way. So it's like, I don't know. I just don't want to be part of that. You know what I mean? Like the whole late button thing, like, oh, you're late book. That's all you ever hear. And I'm living it, you know, and I'm suffering it gracefully too. And I'm not with entitlement. I mean, I respect the artistic process. Seriously, this is a quality product. This is like handmade. I mean, great art. This is going to be, you know, it's going to be worth the wait. But it's like, you know, yeah. But thank you so very much. Exactly. Thank you. So it's happy St. Patrick's Day from Sully from South Boston, Massachusetts. You know, wicked Irish town. Thank you so very much. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Suggest to your friends to watch on the replay tomorrow. You know what I mean? Hey, like, it's great for a podcast, and we just love to hang around talking about comic books, hopefully recreating the comic book shop style conversation that you get when you go to your local comic book shop. And remember, get to your local comic book shop, spend your money there. You probably need supplies too. You need bags, you need boards, you need boxes. So get them at your local comic book shop. And, you know, they are mom and pop brick and mortar shops. They are independent bookstores, part of the American dream. Only we can help keep them open with our patronage and showing up whenever we can. Me, it's every Wednesday. And we will see you again on Wednesday on New Comic Book Day. It's been our Sunday live show. Thank you so very much, and I will see you again later this week. Make sure you tune in for the Midtown Morning Show when we're talking about gratitude and blessings. It's not what you think. Thank you so very much. Cheers. God bless. Namaste. Good luck, and we will see you again in those funny pages. Ciao. Bye-bye. Woohoo!